Hi there. In this video, I will show you a simple approach for handling complex objects in the AppSheet Apigee adapter and how nested REST object resources can best be handled in AppSheet no-code apps. To begin, let's start outside in with our users who want to access great first-party apps running in the cloud, as well as apps provided by ecosystem developers. This is pretty easy for no-code apps that can be directly connected to a database or spreadsheet. Often, though, we don't just have one data source, but lots of different backends, both on-prem, in other clouds, and in Google Kubernetes Engine or compute environments. In that case, a simple no-code app connected to a spreadsheet or database is not going to have access to all the data needed. Here we would normally need full code apps running in platforms like Firebase to offer front ends to our complex backend systems. But now we have a new approach. By leveraging Apigee as the API solution between the backend services, wherever they are, for both our full code and no-code apps. This is made possible by the recently GA'd Apigee adapter for AppSheet, which provides integration between no-code apps and RESTful APIs. Using this architecture, we can get maximum reuse of our backend services and data, and even introduce monetization packages for third-party and ecosystem app developers. But there's one limitation. Because AppSheet understands data in flat, table-like structures, we can have difficulties in our no-code apps when our RESTful APIs return complex, nested objects. So, for example, in this Firestore database, we have energy meter data with the readings stored as a collection directly in the parent object. This is common in document databases like Firestore and MongoDB. We can solve this through using a lightweight proxy in Apigee, where we have all of our API proxy configuration, and under target endpoints, we have our Firestore document database with the parent meter object collection as a target configuration. Under develop, we can then configure paths for each of our resources, including the sub-objects like readings contained in the top-level meters. Each object gets its own resource. In the conditional flows for the different resources, we can then always take care to first fetch the related top-level object and then update it with the new sub-object, so in this case, a new reading. The same goes for all operations on all resources. Basically, we find the appropriate document to update in the proxy and update it with any changes to any of its contained sub-objects. This approach is both flexible and powerful and allows us to maintain complex nested objects from document databases like Firestore and MongoDB in our no-code apps in AppSheet with only minimal mediation logic in our Apigee proxy. Here in AppSheet, we can see all of our resources from the API configured as tables, and we can connect the sub-objects to their parents through relationships, just like in any other table in AppSheet. The parent and children objects can be linked with relationships, just like any relational data records in the AppSheet no-code app, even though the data is coming as resources from the API. This is an awesome way to enable usage through citizen developers who may not understand how to normally integrate with RESTful APIs. So here we are in our AppSheet no-code app, and we can see all of our meter object data here on a Google map, and we can drill down into these objects and see our related readings data here. So this is coming from those nested Firestore objects, and we can interact with these just like any other relational data that we would be using here in our AppSheet app. So it's really seamless for the user, and everything just works as they would expect. To review, using Apigee and AppSheet, we enabled no-code and full-code apps to reuse the same data and logic through APIs and seamlessly integrated our app with more complex nested document-based data in a Firebase database, all in a standardized, reusable way. I hope this video was interesting to see how Apigee APIs can help mediate between document databases and no-code AppSheet apps and enable you to derive more value from any database or backend wherever it lives.